So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this press conference on this special meeting on unlocking resources for regional development in Turkey, Istanbul. My name is Jan Zopf. I'm in charge of media at the World Economic Forum, and I have the pleasure to welcome you to this opening press conference. This press conference has two parts, so that you're all aware. We will start with the first part, which will be an introduction to the meeting with a few highlights. And after that, we will invite our program champions to explain us a little bit more about the program and especially their program topics. At the end of each part, I will open the floor for a few questions. We will have about 10 minutes for a Q&A. After that, we will close, obviously, this press conference. So for the first part, we have three distinguished panelists with us, and they will explain you the context of this meeting. We have Minister Volkan Bozkır, Minister of the EU Affairs, with us. We have Mr. Zapsu from Zapsu Consulting, and we have our Director and Head of Europe, who is in charge of this meeting for the World Economic Forum, Nicholas Davis. We will start with Nicholas Davis to give us an overview, and after that, Mr. Zapsu will give us some thoughts, and then we will conclude with Minister Bozkır. Nicholas.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you to Mr. Zapsu and to the Minister for being with us here today. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to the World Economic Forum's special meeting on unlocking resources for regional development. Today and tomorrow, we'll be convening over 600 leaders from around the world, but particularly from Europe, Eurasia, the Middle East, and North Africa, under this theme around how we make the most in these three regions of underutilized resources, natural resources as well as human resources and other untapped or unrealized sources of growth and prosperity. Among those 600 leaders over the coming days, you will see over 60 public figures, ministers, heads of state, and we're particularly delighted to be here in Turkey, in Istanbul, and to have such an excellent representation from the Turkish government, from the Turkish cabinet, and of course, President Erdogan, as well as Prime Minister Davutoglu, attending today and then tomorrow. There are three important reasons why we meet here in Turkey at this point in time. The first is dramatic shifts and challenges have been emerging in and across all these three regions that are impossible to tackle alone. And in light of conflicts, humanitarian crises, challenges which are affecting both individual human lives, but also having significant knock-on effects to economies and to governance, it's important that we take an opportunity here in Turkey, one place which is very affected and very close to many of these issues, to look at how we can help set the preconditions for long-term growth. It is impossible to unlock resources to realize these collaborations without peace and stability. So this is the first reason why it's important for us to be here together, and why it's so excellent to see so many of you, so many participants joining us. The second reason is that Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, and Eurasia are all great regions, but they are all fragile on their own in different ways. Take demographics for one small, short example. Europe has only 15% and falling of its population under the age of 15, and 18% over the age of 65 and rising rapidly. That is the opposite in many parts of the Middle East and North Africa, which have a large number of youth. Here in Turkey, more than 25% of the population, a great resource that can be used for wealth and future prosperity, but one that needs to be balanced and absorbed and used in the most constructive ways, as individuals have the opportunity to realize their highest potential. So here, by looking at the three regions together and the four themes that we have looked at in the program, shifting energy dynamics, infrastructure as a driver as a platform for growth, entrepreneurial and inclusive economies, and more broadly, the future of Turkey in the region, we hope to be able to find new partnerships, new ways of working together to make the most of these resources, and through collaboration find that balance. The third reason is, of course, that Turkey itself is a country in transformation, and it's a country of great and rising importance, both regionally and internationally. We have, since the end of last month, a new directly elected president, President Erdogan, a new prime minister, and a number of new cabinet members. And so here is an opportunity also at a strategic point of time, in a strategic position geographically and in terms of regional relations, to look at the future of Turkey as well, the future and plans of the new government, including the forthcoming G20 presidency, which Turkey will take up in December this year. I also just want to finish by recognizing the 4 program champions who will come up later in this press conference. And it's incredibly important to us at the World Economic Forum that at all our meetings we identify leaders who are able to speak to the important pieces of content and represent the key themes of a meeting. And today we have with us 4 of those, Majid Jafar from Crescent Petroleum, Uwe Kruger from WS Atkins, Tarek Sultan Alessa from Agility, and Afshin Yurikal from Haberturk. So thank you very much to you for being here. And I would like to finish by thanking all our members and partners, and also Minister Bozkir and his team at the Ministry of EU Affairs who've helped us prepare for this meeting, as well as, of course, Mr. Zapsu, our advisor and someone who's been with us on this journey for many years. So thank you, Jan, and thank you, everyone, and welcome to the meeting here in Istanbul.
Thank you very much, Nick. Mr. Zapsu, if you would please share also a few thoughts and give us a little bit of context about this meeting.
Well, dear friends, thank you for the possibility. And as a 22-year-old Forum fan, and it's been its senior advisor, I also would like to take the opportunity to welcome here. And you know, the name is the Special Meeting on Unlocking Resources for Regional Development. We need a lot of unlocking resources here, I think. And the next 1.5 days, you're going to be sure you will hear very, very interesting sessions on that. And the Forum liked Istanbul. As you all know, this is the, I think, third Istanbul meeting, if I'm not mistaken. I just would like to hope that next time it would be a bigger one than this one. But still, we have more than 650 people coming here today and tomorrow and discussing the world's latest issues. And we have, I think, 8 governments or head of states and over 30 ministers from the political side. And I believe it is the first, please correct me if I'm wrong, it is the first international event for our new elected president and also prime minister here in Turkey. And why Turkey? It's not only because we like, as the Forum, we like Turkey. I think today, more and more, and I don't say it just for fun, more and more I hear it from everybody, that Turkey, back again since the Cold War, has a different possibility, is, you know, between west and east and south and north, and all the energy resources coming through, and all the, it's back again security, which I think a lot of people will have to talk during the next 1.5 days, not only economy. And, you know, just look at Ukraine, Caucasian, Nakhchivan, Iraq, Syria, Palestine, Egypt, Libya. As Nicholas said, aging Europe, very aging Europe, and lack of leadership all over. I think there's a lot of stuff to do here. And the next 1.5 days, the sessions will be, that's why, very interesting, and I urge you to look at the sessions. You know, we have 4 different items: building entrepreneurial and inclusive economies. We have infrastructure as a platform for growth. shifting energy dynamics, and of course, the forthcoming G20 presidency. I'm happy to see that also my country's, the Turkish business community, is much more interested in the World Economic Forum than it was before. So it means we did something right in the past. And again, I'd like to thank also our Ministry of EU, which we started back with Egemen Bağış, then went over with Mevlut Bey, and now, thank you very much, Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sapsu. We will now ask the Minister to share a few words about his thoughts for this meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to Istanbul and wish the forum participants all the success with fruitful discussions. Of course, it's very difficult to contribute after two able participants making very good explanations of the meeting. But I think in diplomacy we have the experience to say that I agree with all what has been said before and make life very easy. However, I'll just add to what has been said. We attach great importance to the World Economic Forum meetings as it works for a very valuable objective, and which is the improvement of the state of the world. Especially at this juncture of time when we have a lot of difficulties in our region, and it is probably affecting the whole of the world security and stability. I think having this forum with this title, Unlocking Resources for Regional Development, is meaningful, and I think we will all leave Istanbul after this meeting with a lot of food for thought and a lot of new vision. Of course, why Turkey has been chosen to be the host of this meeting is also important, and I would like to put Turkey in a context at the very beginning. Turkey is situated at the epicenter of the Afro-Eurasian geography, where opportunities and challenges are interact in the most intensive way. And of course, having been a Muslim country, 99.9% of the population being Muslim, but also being a democratic country where rule of law is applied, and applying the free market economy for so many decades now, and also moving towards the European Union membership, I think is unique, and it separates Turkey from other countries. So that is why I think, as the first item, why Turkey has been chosen here. Also, Turkey will take over the G20 presidency as of in 2015, which of course contributes also to our endeavors today here. Other than that, the EU accession process has been renewed with strong statements from the new president of Turkey, first time elected by the people in the Republican history, by the government's program, and we call it a new Turkey, where I think this new Turkey has to meet with the new visions and new possibilities and new efforts for stability and peace in the world. So from that perspective as well, I think our meeting has other important significance. To sum up, I think challenges of the 21st century necessitates a deeper partnership and cooperation. We acknowledge the importance of dialogue provided by both regional and international meetings, including the World Economic Forum. So this special and timely meeting offers us the opportunity for developing our partnerships in key areas that are crucial for boosting growth and employment in our region and beyond. I'm thankful for everybody who has contributed and spent really long hours and days for the preparation of this meeting, and I wish all the success to the participants.
Thank you very much, Minister. We're actually exactly following the timing, so we have about 15 minutes left for Q&A. If there are any questions, If there are questions, I would ask the person to stand up, asking the question, to introduce him or herself and tell us for which organization you're working for, and then we will answer that question. I would ask also the questions to be linked to the topics of this meeting. Any questions on the floor? Right over there, no? If there are no immediate questions, actually, then I would ask to proceed immediately to the second part, and then I would invite our program champions to join us on the stage. I would like to thank again the Minister, Mr. Sapsu, and Nick for their words, and then we proceed to the second part of the press conference.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister. Thank you.